glucose reading just kept coming down. When I called the endocrinologist, he said, Dwayne, that is an anomaly. And I said, but I've now got 7 days of data. He said, Dwayne, well, that's only 21 data points. I said, no. I tested my blood sugar 8 times a day. So I had 56 data points. And you're going to tell me all 56 data points are an anomaly? He goes, well, wait a minute, Dwayne, who authorized you to deviate from the program? And I said, my mother did. And he goes, oh. I said, do you want me to go against my mother? Doctor know what to say. He goes, well, Dwayne, you understand that you're in a very delicate situation. You should be dead. And you're playing with your life. I said, well, aren't you doing the same thing? So he said, well, Dwayne, I want you to come in for a series of blood tests to demonstrate to you that you are in denial of the disease diabetes. And so they prepared set up an appointment. I had to get the blood work done. And the purpose of this appointment was, first of all, for me to get, first of all, are there any diabetics in this in the audience? Ooh, okay. So all of you are familiar with the hemoglobin A1C test. The hemoglobin A1C test measures the percentage of glucose attached to the hemoglobin. And the endocrinologist felt that I was maybe making some mistakes with the data. And I said, no, I'm not making any mistakes. I said, my daughter's the one writing down the numbers, so anyone making any mistakes is her. You want to talk to her? And this is a beautiful thing because, see, I could just blame other people. And the doctor couldn't really attack me. I said, yeah, you want to talk to my mother? You want to talk to my daughter? Yeah, because these are some strong women, let me tell you. So I went in to see the doctor. It was probably about 3 weeks later. And by this time, my average glucose level was, let's see, 4th week. I think it was by the 4th week, my average glucose level was 97.5. Yeah. Now understand, I was still taking insulin now, 4 shots a day. And the doctor came in. I was in the room with the physician assistant. He said, Dwayne, I want you to take a look at this report. I want you to understand that you are in denial of a disease that almost killed you and should have killed you. And that however you, your daughter, or whoever is collecting the data, they're doing something wrong. Because the hemoglobin A1C test, you can't fake it. Now, anybody here that's a diabetic knows you can fake the fasting blood glucose test, just starve yourself for 12 hours. That's what the doctor thought I was doing. So anyhow, the doctor walks in with the report, or I'm sorry, he walks in, looks at the physician assistant, go get me Mr. McCully's report so we can get this over with. And so the physician assistant leaves, comes back in with the report, gives it to the doctor. And this is when you find out how doctors really operate. They don't look at your blood work until the moment you show up. So he looks at the report. Yeah, Dwayne, take a look at that number. Well, that can't be right. I said, well, what's wrong? He goes, the hemoglobin A1C it's wrong. It's impossible. It can't be. This is incorrect. He looks at the physician and says, go get me Mr. McCully's report. This report is in error. This is impossible. And I said, what's impossible? He goes, this reading is impossible. I said, well, what is the reading? He says, there's no need in me telling you the reading, Dwayne, because it's in error. I said, could you just humor a brother and just tell me what the reading is? He said, well, it says 5.5%, which is the high end for a non-diabetic. Your hemoglobin A1C should be somewhere around 7-8%. He said, so this is a mistake made by our lab. We're going to have to retest you. I said, we're going to have to retest me because it's an error? He goes, yes. And you know it's an error because, he said, because Dwayne, you're a diabetic. You're a type 2 diabetic. And the average blood glucose level of a type 2 diabetic in the United States of America is 175. Anywhere from 175 to 190, depending on which data you look at. So that translates to a hemoglobin A1C of 6.5 to up to 8%. So they reordered the test. A few more weeks went by, went back in. This time the doctor's running late, and he's running in, and he's getting a report. He said, okay, Dwayne, now take a look at this number. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. I said, what's ridiculous? He goes, well, your hemoglobin A1C it's 4.5%. That's better than mine. I'm not a diabetic. It's better than mine. This is not possible. I'm going to send you to another lab. Yeah, this went on, for a couple months, or a couple weeks, a few weeks. And at that time, I had started to reduce the insulin. Actually, Cynthia had suggested, she goes, well, Dad, if you're feeling better and you don't like taking on them shots, why don't you just cut back? And I didn't want to do that because I was a little nervous, because I still felt the doctors know what they're doing, and I don't want to be messing around with them drugs, and she kept pushing. I'm going, no, I don't think so. And this is when one of those blessings occurred, those serendipitous events. And Cynthia and I, we still don't know exactly what happened. At the time, I was having trouble with my eyes. That's another complication. And my daughter bought me a magnifying glass. And somehow, trying to use the magnifying glass and filling up the needles or something, I must have made a mistake and discovered 4 days too late that I was actually already taking a lower dosage. I was prescribed to take 60 units a day of Lantus and Humalog. I found out I was only taking 55. So I panicked because, again, I don't know anything about these drugs. I called the doctor. I said, oh, sorry. He goes, yeah, Dwayne, nothing we can do about it now. So I'm thinking, I just killed myself. I said, what do we do? Do I have to increase the dosage to 65? He goes, Dwayne, you can't make it up. I said, then what do I do? He said, go back to the original dosage. I said, oh, okay. And my daughter said, well, Dad, why are you going to go back to the original dosage if you're already in the normal range? Shouldn't you be going the other way? And I'm thinking, dang, she's pretty smart. And I said, ooh, whose daughter is she? Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, smart little girl. And so since I was testing my blood glucose 8 times a day, I felt that if I lower it from 55, let's say, to 50, since I'm testing my blood glucose so frequently, I didn't feel I was taking a risk. And if it went back up, I would just go back to the original dosage. So the plan was I would continue to decrease the amount of insulin until it spiked on me. And then I knew that's where I should stop. Long story short, 3.5 months later, I was down to 0. 1 month later, I was off Coumadin. The following month, I was off Lipitor. Knowing what I know today, what basically took 5.5 months, I could now do in 45 days. Because what I was doing at that time was